I remember about 6 months ago, I started to seriously look into making some of my life automatic. I wanted to free up some of my time. Instead of doing similar things daily, instead of completing regular tasks on a weekly, monthly, yearly basis, trying to automate some of my life to free up time to actually be able to discover new things and to take on new responsibilities. And I was quite surprised just how many things you can actually automate, not only to free up time for yourself, but also free up this thing right here, your brain, from whether it's important dates. I know that one big thing that I did 6 months ago was I actually imported a lot of my reminders that were constantly held up here, whether it was people's birthdays or whether it was my car MOT or when the house insurance was going to need renewing or any sort of important dates that happened over and over again on a recurring basis. I downloaded all of that into a calendar. Now admittedly that is actually a calendar that's on my phone. It's not one that I've got to physically write out all the time, but it's one that's on the phone, and I've actually set up the alerts that have now coming up every month or so. When there is something that's actually going on, say next week, there will be an alert that will come up in front of me to tell me that something is coming up due. And again, even going as technical as car MOTs, making sure that I've got a month before my car MOT actually expires, I've got a separate reminder set up to make sure that I'm aware of that, and I've got plenty of time to deal with it accordingly. But when I say this is automatic, it might not quite be what you've got in mind, because to you maybe this is something I had to do initially, but the truth is that instead of having to constantly do this, once I've set it up, that's it. It will keep reminding me until I basically tell it not to. And to me, that's automated. That's stopping me from having to constantly keep thinking, constantly keep checking exactly when something's actually up for renewal. But that's only one thing that I'm going to talk about today. Being automated, or automating some of your life, really can relieve a lot of stress. And the biggest stress reliever I found is my finances. Now, I always used to be that guy that would have an Excel spreadsheet. I would fill that in daily, not weekly or monthly, daily, with all the expenses that I've paid, with all the income that I've had into the account as well. Any upcoming payments would have to get logged. I would have to plan them all out, get ready to send individual payments to individual companies. And that, again, had to change, because a daily operation like that was taking up too much of my time. Even if it was only an hour a day, which sometimes it was an hour a day, 7 hours a week, you can do the maths for a year. It's incredible just how much time that takes up. And I changed that by making sure that I automated as much of that as possible. And I can actually happily say 6 months later, as much as it actually caused me some initial stress, because I not only felt like I should be checking on it, once I got used to the fact that I didn't have to check on the accounts, I now feel a lot better for it. But not only am I setting up standing orders in this automated sequence, paying out standing orders obviously for the mortgage, for any outstanding utility bills that need to be paid monthly and stuff as well, but I'm also talking about savings, and I'm also making sure that I'm automated my savings into my savings account. Now again, this can be a little thing, but for some people, they will constantly think at the end of the month about putting money into savings. And it's always a decision that if you sat yourself down and spoke to yourself and said, do I need to put money into my savings? The answer is going to be yes, most months, if not every month, for you, unless there's something that you really find it more important than savings to put your money into. Savings is the first place you should be thinking of. And for me, whenever I get to the end of the month, and I'd always think, I could put that £100, even if it was only that little, into that saving account, but maybe I could hold it off and I could put it in next month, or maybe I should really keep hold of it in case it's a rainy day and I need it for something else. And I would sometimes opt not to do it as well, and that's a human element of it. That is part of the human fact that sometimes you can overrule what your actual instinct is, and you can make yourself change different options that you have But if you sit down when you're automating this kind of stuff, as I did, and think, you know what, my finances say that I can put X amount, whether it's 5%, 10% a month of my earnings, into a savings account. I automated that, I've set it up so it will send automatically that amount of money into a savings account every single month, and I take my hands off the wheel. And because I've taken my hands off the wheel, I can't make any errors in that. I can't choose to do the wrong thing because it's doing it automatically. That has been a big life change for me, is actually just taking a step back a bit more from my finances, to the point where sometimes I can go weeks without actually looking at my bank account, which again 6 months ago would have been absolutely impossible. And the last thing I'm going to talk about as well, as far as automation, is for me placing orders. Now the internet again is a fantastic place now. Amazon just seems to be the way forward for so many companies to sell their products through Amazon as well. But of course there's going to be exceptions to this. However, there are things that some people will find they order on a regular basis. I mean, for me, obviously, I have a dog. Dog food is something we get on a regular basis, or whether it's a certain medication, or whether it's a certain item that yourself, that, you know, maybe you buy shampoo and conditioner. I don't know why that's the first thing that comes to my head, but shampoo and conditioner every month. You know, you could automate that to get that delivered to your house every single month. Now, maybe Amazon isn't, you know, the website forward. Maybe we're talking about Tesco or Asda, or if you're in the UK, you know, just automating home delivery for certain food products maybe every week. Maybe in you doing that means that you haven't got to spend an hour each and every week going out and actually doing a weekly food shop that everybody seems to have got behind. You can always automate things, and it's surprising just how much, when you open this thing up here and actually start to think just what you can automate, things will actually start to come to mind. Even as far as this video, even as far as YouTube videos, you know, you haven't got to sit down, record a video, edit it, upload it, and make it live on that day. If you want to record a video for tomorrow, you can do it now. You can set it up, you can schedule it. The computer will automatically upload it for you at a specific time if you wanted to. The powers are there for everybody to do things that maybe they haven't even thought of.